As Abyss League winds down, I thought it'd be fun to have a look back at what made it my favourite league so far in Path of Exile. To be clear before we begin, this isn't meant as apologia, or an attack on the many people who prefer other leagues, where by other leagues I mean Breach League. Yes, there are a lot of criticisms of this league, including many that I agree with, but at this point in a league's life cycle, it can seem like negatives are all there are. So this is merely a discussion of why I, a not particularly good player, enjoyed this league so much, and why I hope GGG will make more content like it in the future. I should note, of course, that there are two substantial confounding factors: the war for the Atlas expansion, which is fantastic, and the content for which has definitely coloured my impressions of the associated league, and luck, in that this has been by several astronomical units my luckiest league in terms of drops, letting me try out all my build ideas, good and bad alike, and achieve if not all my goals, then at least a larger than usual fraction of them. But I'll try to set those things aside for now. Now, the question a lot of you will be asking, why Abyss over Breach? Well, don't get me wrong, Breach was good fun, but there are several different design decisions made for Abyss that, in my opinion, make Abyss better. Now, a lot of these will sound like the things you think make Abyss worse, but hopefully I can explain. Firstly, Abysses are slower. Yes, okay, obviously you don't want to stop from going fast all the time. Personally though, I like to loot as I go, and really like how Abysses are relatively patient with you. While you can't just leave them and come back after they're open, you're free to dawdle, pick up items, make short detours to clear side rooms, that kind of thing. It also allows for more strategic care in combat. While Breach rares and bosses waltz in through the glowy interdimensional line thingy without warning and proceed to rearrange your face to resemble their favourite map icon, Abyss rares give you a good second or so of them climbing out of the hole. You can't see their mods at this point, but you can tell their base form and whether they have a Nemesis mod, both very valuable pieces of information. I like how this gives you time to evaluate to decide whether to continue taking out the swarms of smaller Abyss enemies, or focus down the rare, or retreat a distance and recoup. Secondly, Abysses drop rewards mostly all at once in one location, or around a series of locations, rather than scanning over a large circle for drops and having to tap C repeatedly to reset the item icon locations. You get a big burst of OP shiny things all at once. I think that's pretty neat and super convenient. And then there's the big one, the cool bosses. There's been a lot of complaint about how rare the Liches are, and while I sympathise, at the same time, well, I honestly prefer it to Splinter gathering for Breach Lords. I never managed to gather enough Splinters to fight the best ones anyway, and it makes any given Abyss feel less obligatory. Yes, technically it's the same either way. Small chance of Lich appearing multiplied by 1 equals large chance of Splinters dropping multiplied by small amount of Splinters divided by 100, roughly. But Breach has got to feel like a hopeless endeavour, especially considering that A, I am bad, and B, I generally don't play meta builds. Both Abysses and Breaches can kill me, especially in hard maps, but where I skipped or ripped Breach gave me a feeling of having pushed a fight against one of the lords further into the unobtainable future, missing an Abyss is just, ah well, probably nothing that great, there's always the next one. Then there's the broader topic of rewards. In addition to the big-ticket 2-socket uniques, which can be ignored since I never got any, Abyss gives us the small-ticket uniques, the uniques with only one abyssal socket, that provide most of the cool newness at a lower power level and much more accessible rarity, as well as a whole new set of jewels with powerful modifiers, and the belt to use them in. Whole builds can be constructed just around the flat damage the jewels can provide, which really makes the league feel special. They're also super abundant in the economy and craftable, which I appreciate. A league mechanic that isn't just present for everyone, but actually relevant for everyone is pretty cool. Obviously the abundance of Abyss jewels and Stygian devices might not be very balanced. There was pretty much no reason to use any other sort of belt this league, but this is so much more fun than Breach rings or talismans that I just don't really care. People also complain that Light Poacher is OP. Alright, it kind of is. But at least unlike Headhunter or even, I don't know, the Tempest's Binding, it's OP while being broadly available. And it's not OP in the sense that it's obligatory. In fact, I've only ever used it while leveling. Rather, it's just a very good option, particularly for physical projectile builds that use a lot of Abyss jewels. But more generally, it's a bit hard to define what is OP in a PvE ARPG, and certainly I haven't seen a good account of what overpoweredness actually means in the PoE context. As such, I'm not inclined to worry too much about leagues having super powerful items on this kind of level, and find I'm free to just enjoy using them. I should also spare an aside at the end here for aesthetics. This doesn't get brought up much, but Abyss is a remarkably pretty league. The somber greys and soft greens are a really nice change from the more usual purples, oranges and golds, and while this can be a detriment in certain tile sets, I really appreciate how easy on the eyes Abyss is. And the music in the depths is just sublime. Really hit it out of the park with that one. Overall, Abyss League struck me in just the right way. A very pretty package containing a great mixture of challenge and reward that will stand out in my mind as the high bar for other leagues to clear. Hopefully I've been able to explain some of what I loved so much about this league and why. Thanks GGG, and here's to many more still to come.